Feel the contractions all throughout the ribs that elevate, lift, you feel most full with inhale, pause. Actually holding this inhale momentarily, waiting for another little bit of inhale. Inhaling another 10% or 30%. Now those same muscles of respiration that are still inhaling, they're still working, they're still contracting. Feel them release those on. I'm going to do a couple of these. Is the gesture that I want you to be get in the ribs is going from contract to letting the contraction go. We'll do another. Now you know how it goes. Ready to begin? Inhale. The ribs, expanding them. Make sure you feel them going outward. Every time I look out at a room of ribs, most ribs are going up. It's okay for them to go up, but up is secondary. Out, 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 up, up. Hold the breath. And you're holding, waiting for enough inner ease so that you can inhale a little bit more. And when you're ready, inhale that next little 3% or 10%. Inhale, inhale, work those muscles. They're muscles, not luck. When you're ready to let go, don't go unconscious on those inhalation muscles. Feel the exact nature of them letting go. Do final round like so. So this isn't real, or what do we call it? Official pranayama. It's really a helpful working of the anatomy, the musculature. They're good exercises. All right, third one, last one. Inhale, go broad toward the horizon. Side effect of going toward the horizon, the ribs will lift up. And they will lift up toward the very end of the inhalation. And pause. You're holding, just waiting for when that next right moment is for inhaling more. Inhale a little bit more. Now you're getting all that apical structure involved. When you're ready to let go, you're going to feel those muscles. Gesture, release. Take a couple unstructured. Noticing if we've stretched into any new places in your chest, in your back, in your shoulders, in your lungs. do a few little things for the abdomen. I'm going to put one hand a little bit lower than my navel and one above the navel. We'll start off as you're exhaling. Let the ribs passively move down, just like we'd been doing. They go from flared out and up, a boat on wavy water, riding the wave down. And when you're ready, I want you to start to involve the lower hand, what's below the navel. Exhales, it knits, some contraction. Upper hand, activity above the navel. Also feel that the ribs, there's a contraction that aids the ribs down. Some people will feel this in their upper back or their mid-back. And you might feel almost a little bit hunched. You might almost feel like a little bit of a raisin. And then release. Relax the rib contraction, relax the abdominal contraction. I'm going to do that another time or so. The ribs have softly, passively moved down a bit. Feel the low belly gathering, knitting, ringing, the upper abdomen gathering and knitting and ringing. Feel how the ribs, there's contraction that pulls the ribs down. When you're ready to let go, feel that gesture of release. Ribs, abdomen, lower abdomen. Feel almost a little rebound or a little spring-like motion in the ribs. Take 2 deep yet unstructured breaths. You don't have to do anything specific, just explore the volume, the movement, the dynamism of these next 2 breaths. Let's get a little bit more into the very top of the shoulder. Get into the neck here. From your seated position, do one of a couple of things. Palm the ground right beside you, almost like a tolasana. And the pressure isn't meant to lift your weight up off the ground necessarily, but the pressure of straightening the arms, palming the ground, is meant to bring the shoulder, top of the shoulder, away from the earlobes. We're trying to gain distance between shoulder and ear. So generally, just palming the floor, straightening the arms will give us some of that. Now, keep those arms pressing and so moving down. And for this, you need to turn your hand this way or that way. This would be an okay place to change the angle of the hand. Again, we're not trying to push our weight off the ground. Push the ground, shoulder moves down. Take 2 deep breaths, focusing on the inhalation. All the way up at the top of the ribs. Release the breath just passively, just let it release, let it go. The key here is to commit to that palm staying on the ground. The tendency is to want to just kind of let the hand and the shoulders kind of go up. We won't quite get the same activation or waking up in those really high up shoulder, neck places. Do one more. So, keeping the palms on the ground, getting some of that shoulder down movement. One more inhalation. Release. Now we'll set up downward dog. You want to set up with your hands on 2 blocks? Perfectly fine. Depends how the hands are feeling. I'm going to go hands on ground. You'll have to ultimately decide the shoulder width for you. Some people's arms, shoulders, they need to go just a teeny tiny bit wider than shoulders. Not much. And that's what allows them that get the chest, serratus to turn on. And exhale, downward dog. So the tendency for us in many positions, any contexts, is to let the arms kind of be less active to make it, we'll say, easier, seemingly less effortful for the respiration muscles. We're going to flip that today. So there's a ton of benefit we can get by activating a lot of these bigger, strong muscles of the shoulder or the chest or the back, and then finding ways to breathe in that, under that. You adjust a downward dog however you need to, whether it's bending the knees or putting the knees on the floor or widening the hands. Do whatever needs to be done in downward dog. I just want you to feel that the chest muscles can be turned on, and the serratus, those wrapping the shoulder blade muscles, are in play. And then under those conditions, take 3 deep breaths, working with those muscles of inspiration, which expand the ribs, and those muscles of expiration. We use the abdominals, rib muscles that help us express the breath. Give ourselves a couple more moments. And then we'll release. And we'll set the knees down. We'll set up our mat with as many folds in order to bring the heels onto surface. Let me push that away. We're going to take a squat. So if you squat with your heels on the ground, that's fine. And we'll also try to arrange the toes more or less forward. I get it, like sometimes I can turn my toes way out to the side and maybe get some other kind. Keep the toes basically forward facing. There you go. So the heels are set. We haven't done anything with the arms just yet. But this gives us a good way to just start to work with the shoulder and the breath. So turn to face you. My left hand, I'm just going to hold on to my left shin. And this is so I can reach with the right arm way out forward. So in a sense, I'm pulling and I'm reaching. My left hand's pulling, my right arm's reaching. 2 deep breaths into the upper back. So the reach is tempting to get some of those serratus and shoulder blade movers. Switch. Now the right hand, I'm just going to hug or pull, rather, my shin. My left arm is reaching forward. Pull and push, or pull and reach. Get a really great breath right under the shoulder blades and into the upper back. We're here just to kind of skirt around and play with some of the components of dolphin without getting into dolphin. There's a lot of little quirky things that happen in dolphin. I think we can better address some other places like here. We'll release. Press our way up about, I don't know, halfway. It'll widen out the legs. So here's where I don't know what to quite call this. It's too squatty to be horse stance, and it's too horsey to be squatty. Somewhere in that in-between place. I want there to be no duress in the knees, but it's pretty low hanging. I'll leave my right arm on my thigh, and now we're going up. Inhale, let's reach the left arm up. I'm pushing with my right arm pretty well into the thigh. Exhaling, lengthening that left sit bone away from the left armpit. Switch sides, we'll go left arm on that thigh, like right on it. And then inhale, we'll take that right arm up. I'll push with that left arm. Hopefully we got into a position where you can kind of let the butt go down as we're reaching that right arm up. We'll release. And now let's set up for dolphin. Wonderful. Deep back muscles flanking the lower back. And those nice deep squatty places are kind of fun access. All right, elbows under shoulders. We got that forearm set out. The pressure that the arms are making with the ground, this is not passive. So as soon as you have your placement of the arms, now bring on the physical, structural support of the arms. The pressure is desirable to help awaken the respiration structure. So arms on the mat, not passive, they are now acting like I'm ready to hold you. Pushing, tweezing, pulling, whatever it is you do to make those shoulders feel wonderfully steady. Now we'll take 2 deep breaths, keeping all of that shoulder and arm stuff active. Then smoothly move the knees off the ground. And it's okay to work those muscles of inspiration. It's okay to work a little bit those muscles of expiration. Let's give ourselves about 3 more breaths. Wherein the inhale, instead of stopping our inhale at the first moment of resistance, we actually kind of work with it a little bit. Wake up a few more little ripples of inhalation expansion movement, like stretching the inhale in. And then as we're exhaling, instead of just stopping at the first moment we feel like, oh, done, a little more expression, a little more ringing, a little more of that helping, escorting the ribs down. That once or twice more. We're really just focusing on the motion and the physicality of respiration. And the waking up, that helps us get things moving around the lungs. We'll set the knees down. Inhale, slide hands under shoulders. And exhale, downward dog. So now we will move into a horse stance. Inhale, step any foot forward. We'll take a wide, symmetric, bent knee stance. Here we prop the hands up so we're a little higher than if our forearms were down here. Inhaling into the ribs and shoulders. Down, spreading that down into the abdomen and into the sides. Let's start by turning to our left. Exhale, right hand press. Making sure that when we turn, feel that the chest and the ribs turn. Often we'll move our chin and the chin and the sternum might move quite differently. So feel the turn through the sternum and the ribs. Inhale, we're going to unwind just slightly. We're pivoting into a warrior stance with our left foot forward. Take a little turn of the left foot. Just walk out that right foot. Twisting in the same direction. Exhale the right elbow over the left thigh. We're still turning to our left. We've just got a new stance. Got a new arm position. Every new position deserves a skillful relearning of our inhalation and exhalation. Inhale, we'll unwind from the twist. Press out of that stance. We'll move right back into horse stance. We'll do those two things on the other side. So starting with that twisting horse stance. Keeping back in with the hands on the thigh. Exhale, our left hand push. We'll be twisting to our right. With all these tissues and muscles, there is this kind of elastic nature to it. There's benefit to kind of pushing a little bit in that end point of our inhale, stretching our breath in there just a little bit more. And there's benefit to ringing and expressing and emptying that breath a bit more than our usual. Releasing. So come up a little bit. We're making our right foot the front foot of warrior. So just a little pivot and turn. Do a much bigger pivot left. Twisting warrior. So our right foot is forward. Still twisting to our right. Exhale. Left elbow over right thigh. Inhale, we'll unwind. We press out of that stance. We come right back up to standing. Feels a little bit like a primary series, doesn't it? That kind of back and forth, side to side sequencing. So now I've turned my toes in, the outer edges of my feet parallel with the ground. It's interlaced the hands behind back. Breathing way, way up into those sweetie collarbone and apical areas. It's a great place to kind of expand and extend inhalation. Exhale, hinge forward. Now let's unwind. We'll heel toe our feet back near each other. We're going to get a little bit into this half Pashasana. However, instead of right away going for the interlock, we're going to do a little twist and reach. So I've got my squat again, setting the heels wherever they best to go. This time I'm nudging my right arm right up about the inner thigh. So this left arm, I'm reaching up, and I'm beginning to reach back. It's almost like I'm going to get a little, like a chest opener on the left side. That's not a bad way to guide ourselves in there. So the right arm, it's like a bow and arrow. I'm kind of, my right arm's drawing the bow back. My left hand is stabilizing the bow. Again, right elbow pull, left arm reach. Keep reaching back, keep reaching back. And inhale, let's unwind. We'll set this up on the other side. Plug that left arm, boop, right inside. Right arm, reaching up and back. So in a fashion, helps you feel that right side of chest open up. There you go. The left elbow, pull, pulling into that thigh. The right arm reach, pull and reach. Into that ujjayi, you can orchestrate each every breath. You can decide, do I want to breathe into the abdomen and the back? Do I want to escort this breath into the chest wall and the shoulder? Notice some of these positions, they put way more, there's way more challenge to awaken some of these muscles. The position, the context is enough to create a lot of challenge. Inhale, let's unwind. Palm the ground, and straighten the legs, moving ourselves out of that squat. We're going to make a warrior one again. Let's turn the right foot toward the narrow edge of our mat. We'll plant our hands on our hips. I'm less concerned about the left foot placement, and I'm just a little more concerned that our pelvis is basically facing forward. Doesn't mean we can't work that left leg. The knuckles press the top of the pelvis down. Left leg strongly reaching back. Inhaling from knuckles, ribs. Releasing, twisting, extended warrior. So if you want a block on the outside of your foot, now's a good time to just boot it over there. Moving on exhale, we'll take the left armpit over the right thigh. And then fingertips reach down for the ground or for that block. Here, my left arm is pulling against my thigh. Now my right arm is reaching over my head. Pull and reach again. Two arms are kind of like steering a big wheel. Pull and reach. Left arm pull. Right arm reach. Whole left side of the back is quite involved in that whole right side of the back. Banding. Way overhead. Bring it all the way over the ear so you can stretch and spread out that lat. Go all the way over the ear. You can go forward. Just reach the arm as if overhead. Right arm. Yeah. Now that lat spreads out a little bit more. Now that pull and reach means a little different to the arm pull, right arm reach. There you go. That's it. Inhale. Let's unwind. Come all the way back to a symmetric stance. All the way back. You're going to pivot back and forth today. Length stretch. Now fold. Now this right hand, reach over to the left ankle. Same side. You're going to get that reaching, spreading. Right hand, left ankle. A little bit more of that twist. You could, I guess, reach the left hand behind to the thigh. And release. Inhale, we'll come back center. And make that the other way. We'll turn the left foot forward for a warrior one stance. Start with the pelvis and then just let the legs kind of go where they may. Hands on the back of pelvis. I'm not trying to make my back leg loose. Engage, send it back. The hands on the hips will just help us measure that reach of right leg at its edge. Inhale into the knuckles, into the abdomen, into the ribs, spreading that breath through the trunk, telescoping the ribs away from the hips. Release the hands. Twisting, extended warrior. And this right armpit over the thigh. You'll decide if you want to block there. Really, the hand position, it doesn't really matter so much, to me at least. It's the connection of the right arm to the outer thigh. If that's substantial enough against which to pull, that's great. I want your shoulder to be in a good spot. The hand, they are not made, who knows? The left arm reach overhead. So the right arm pull and the left arm reach. Again, pull and reach. That kind of archetype of movement again. Right pull, left reach. Now the nature of that left hand reach. Spread that whole left side, the lat under the shoulder blade. Wrapping that shoulder. Pull in that left shoulder blade around the ribs. Let's get some really sweet breaths into that side. We can be skillful with them if we want to feel the breath move under the left shoulder blade. A little bit more of a rib cage breath. Spread that into the abdomen. Spread that into the more apical top of the dome. We want to exhale. We can exhale the way we design. We can use the ribs a little bit. We can use the abdomen. Inhale, unwind. Back to this metric kind of midpoint spot. And we'll heel toe the feet all the way together. Inhale, take the arms, go straight up. Exhale, just let it go. All right. I'm going to use a little bit of a touch point. I'm using a block I'm going to lean this block right about, see how that's the mid back bordering on the upper back. Now this could be anything softer. It doesn't have to be a block, but here's my reasoning. You can find the most appropriate surface and prop. Because while standing, I'm going to let this block help me feel for arching in the most upper ribs of my back. The pose is just that beginning part of sun. So what this block is preventing me from doing, let me do a profile. Just profile. Is I can't really bend back from the low back. I can't really pull back from the mid back. It's just so particular for helping us identify and articulate the most upper back with which to lift and open up the chest. So that's the name of the game, and we'll give it a few breaths. Get an appropriate prop for this job. Do it against a tree, a door frame, a wall. And I'm primarily standing, not leaning. I'm leaning just enough to hold the block in place. And here's the move. We do it at the top of every sun salutation, inhaling the arms up. Maintain the arms up as we exhale. Really shift the top rim of the sacrum down. Working that breath to the top of the block. That's the upper back, mid back. This part of the ribs, this is my opinion from my observation. It's my opinion, this is a really interesting, funny place to feel for getting breath, but so essential. Let's give it. Ooh. Good, eight or so breaths, playing in, hopefully in some new territory. Feel what that's like, breathing into the upper lungs and the back and the specific place to start the arch. Something I'm kind of playing with. Once you release from there, just get a feel for how your head is located in relationship to the rest of your torso. Getting a feel of how the head and the neck are situated, how the weight transfers. A move like this, like all these back bends that have us arching through there, just completely changes the way the muscles of the neck work, whether it's to hold our head or to vocalize, to speak, or just to have our head over our. So I think we'll be investigating this more. Let's do one more. Then we'll put a bow on it. So let's go for that interlock in that half noose or half pashasana. We'll get our squat. Now take that right arm against the inner right thigh. Use my left arm, that reaching up, and I'll turn my bicep, turn my arm, make the interlock. Why am I going up and over? To try to get some of that arc through that upper back. And having just done that little arching back movement, maybe you can carbon copy some of that right into this pose. Let's give it 2 or 3 more breaths. Feel that arching of that uppermost back and ribs, just the way you may have been feeling with the Tadasana, the standing against the. You can still escort breath up into those ribs and back. We'll release. We'll trade over to the other side, circling our left shin. Just choosing to reach the right arm up. Turn the bicep. And reach behind back. And we'll release. Inhale. Let's unwind. Have a seat and we'll take a rest. The name of the game today, just awakening the respiratory structure. Trying to put a little more input through all these little mind-body connections. With a few exploratory breaths, note those places in the lungs or in your chest cavity or abdominal cavity where breath moves more freely. You're going to feel how broadly, widely, deeply get a sense of the tone, the elasticity, the rigidity, the fibrosity, the affiness. Also get a sense of the clarity, the granularity of feeling. Places may feel a little fuzzier or staticky. Some places may seem like have a bright, clear, new, tense boundary or when you're ready. We'll move up to seated. Namaste.